Hey folks, Mel the Train Tutor back in the studio and back with a bit of a rambly come studio tour for you. Now, it is the start of the year, so Happy New Year 2019. Yes, I'm still writing it down as 2018. It's going to take a month until that 8 becomes a 9 properly. And it's taken me a little while to get back into the sort of swing of things and getting back into the studio. Kez got laid off just before Christmas. She got a new job also very quickly, which started straight after Christmas. And so we took a bit of family time to be together over Christmas because she's sort of working quite away and we don't get to see much of each other while she's doing this new job. So it's taken a while for me to get into a stride and get back into the studio because I'm looking after the kids and all that sort of stuff. But I am back. I should be back in 4 or 5 days a week, so plenty of content to come for you and plenty of things to be working on. I've been working on over Christmas and we've got to finish it off some Cruel Seas stuff, so some small scale 300 6mm stuff. Looking forward to bringing that out. So I've got to finish that off. I've got the Scar project which is ongoing and I've got a few other tutorials for you, but none of them are finished as yet. Yeah, hopefully they should be ready for next week for you. If I can squeeze one out for Thursday, I'll try. If not, definitely a live show in the studio, but make sure you make a note at the time because YouTube's messing around with the notifications at the minute. So, right, let's talk about this video. Well, for a long time, I've been promising you guys a bit of a tour of the studio. Yeah, my inner sanctum, as it is, my happy place. And so, I thought, we'll start the year off in a nice easy video to break things in, you know what I mean? Get me, my creative juices and my talking and stuff flowing as best as I can. So let's talk about the studio. Well, first off, I'm based in a city called Stoke-on-Trent in the UK. Now, Stoke-on-Trent started probably about 1,000 years ago as a small hamlet. Yeah, a little village on the River Trent, a crossroads essentially. And nothing much happened for about 700 years until the sort of the 1700s. And the thing about Stoke is Stoke sits on a large slab of very, very good clay. Okay, and so in the 1700s, Stoke got a reputation around the world for making pots. The actual term, the local term for Stoke-on-Trent is the potteries. Yeah, because it's a world centre of excellence for pottery. Yeah, and it has been. Outside of China, we lead the world for making pottery in Stoke-on-Trent. And most of my family have been employed in the, in the actual pottery trade. The pottery trade was so ingrained into Stoke-on-Trent life that the school holidays were actually twisted to work around the pot banks, which are the factories. We call ceramics factories pot banks. Okay, and every year, yeah, the pot banks would shut their kilns down for 2 weeks to do maintenance. And this was known as the Potters' Holidays. And basically, the entire city was pretty much on holiday. Yeah, because no pots were being made. So the vast majority of people, there was 3 main industries in Stoke. There was the pottery industry, the coal industry and the steel industry. The coal industry supported the pot industry quite a lot and also shipped out. Yeah, but the vast majority of people were employed in in the pottery industry. So when Potter's Holiday came around, it was like 60–70% of the city was on holiday. I used to feel sorry for people who worked in shops because everyone was on holiday, entire streets, schools were closed. It was great. Yeah, now, the site I'm actually on is called Spodeworks, and Stoke-on-Trent they call it 5 towns because it's not actually a proper city. It started off as as lots of individual potteries that grew into towns. And in the case of my particular one, yeah, my small town, Stoke, where my studio is based, there was this guy called Josiah Spode. I always thought it was Joshua, but it's Josiah. Josiah Spode. And back in 1776, he set up Spodeworks. Now, Spodeworks is a massive 10-acre site, and over the years it has employed probably over 400 people. Yeah, it's got massive work areas, it's got huge factory spaces inside. But in about 2008, yeah, the site sort of, well, Spode went bust, yeah, when the recession hit. And the site, with it being 10 acres and literally slap bang in the centre of town, the high street is built around Spode Works. Yeah, the reason it's built around Spode Works is because the high street was built by Spode. You know, the pottery makers in Stoke, they built all our public buildings, they built our libraries, our baths, our schools, all our institutes, you know, and even the town structures were all geared around the pottery works. Okay, so with it being so integral, yeah, the council bought it and they left it to go to disruin, and it went really down the pan over a period of about 8-9 years, until the council decided that they were going to start renovating it up. Now, obviously, Stoke is one of the poorest cities in Stoke-on-Trent. We are the most working class city in the country. And by that, what I mean is the proportion of working class people to middle class and upper class is substantially higher in Stoke-on-Trent than anywhere else in the country. And it's understandable because it's always been a working class place. It's never had the city infrastructure, yeah, that other cities like Manchester, Birmingham, London, all those sort of cities have. Old trade, old banks. Stoke has got none of that. We just had the pottery industry. So when the recession hit, it hit us hard. Okay, it's one of the top places for child poverty. It is the monkey dust capital of the UK. And if you're wondering what monkey dust is, it's some sort of artificial drug that turns you into a zombie and rots your flesh. And you can buy it. You can buy a hit for about £2. And Stoke is actually our Skid Row. It's where all the homeless services are. So I see a lot of it, and literally people rotting. Yeah, limbs rotting. It's horrific. And so Stoke has got a lot of problems. But the thing that a lot of people don't realise about Stoke-on-Trent is, yeah, it's the most working class. I think it's the debt capital of Britain. It's in the top 3 of child poverty. Region-wise, it's in the top 5 for the most poorest regions in the entirety of Western and Eastern Europe. Yeah, so it's pretty run down. But here's the thing. Ever since the 1700s and the pottery exploded, yeah, if you were working class and you had an artistic knack, then you came to Stoke because there was work for you in Stoke. Okay, and what this has meant is that creativity is literally in the blood around here. I mean, did you know there are more art colleges in Stoke per capita than anywhere else in the country? So not only are we the poorest, the most debted, the drug capitals, we're also the most creative city in the UK. People don't realise that. But being an artist, okay, and I'm calling myself an artist now, I'm 5 years in, I'm at the stage, I'm an artist. Because trust me, I've spent enough time in the art world to realise that if you can call that art, then I can call what I do art, and I'm a bloody artist and I'm sticking with it. Yeah, I know you guys have got my back on this. But talking about the site, obviously it was regenerated. Now, part of that regeneration was to bring in the creativity that's in around Stoke. And I come from a very working class background. My wife, Kerry, comes from a very working class background. We were raised on the estates. And you can go into so many houses and just see normal people doodling. And it's beautiful. Yeah, there's a real undercurrent of artistic talent in the city. And so when the council were regenerating the site, they started off and they teamed up with a London charity called Akava, and this was to create the studios. Now, the studios were renovated from the old China Hall, okay, where they used to make china, and they put in 42 artistic studios, and I think about 38 of them are currently occupied. And they every sort of art you can imagine, fine art, contemporary art, woodworkers, sculptors, photographers, resin artists, absolutely embroidery, fabric art. There's so many different artistic disciplines in this building, and so many sort of ancillary trades as well. Graphic designers, laser cutters, 3D printers, all sorts in this building, and me as well. So that's why the studios are here in Stoke. You know, it's part of a regeneration process, and it's working. The site is picking up. The site's got a hotel on it. It's got shops. It's got all sorts of different things coming. And so I'm quite hopeful about the future for the Spodeworks site. There were really big plans for the site, yeah, including like flyovers to the local railway station and all sorts of things. But we were competing for City of Culture, which would involve a massive amount of investment in the city from the government, but we didn't get it. Yeah, I have a feeling also being the Brexit capital of Britain, sort of like, you know, that kibosh that one. I mean, I couldn't see the government giving Stoke-on-Trent, you know, the title of City of Culture when we voted for Brexit. Politics, eh? But it is going well. And that sort of leads us to the Akava Studios. And here we are. And so that was the site, and that's Stoke, and so you can understand where I'm from, you know what I mean, and what's going around. If you want to know more about Stoke and stuff like that, and you'd like a little bit of history and that sort of stuff, because some of you seem to, let me know, and I might do a video in the future and give you a little bit of a tour of my hometown. But I know you're more here for the terrain. Now, I know this isn't a terrain video, but let me show you my studio, okay? Now, obviously, you get to see this bit quite a bit. And this bit is, it's kind of interesting because it's kind of a set come backdrop. No, I don't mean a set like I'm going to stand out and there's like this little bit's inside of a massive room. It is just one room, okay? But it's laid out to look decent on the video, to be perfectly honest. But at the same time, it's very important to me that this, as you'll see very soon, I don't have much room, so this has to work as a working space. And so with that in mind, yeah, all the tools and everything that you see here they aren't just for decoration, they're actually the tools I use. You know, they're there so they're easy to get my hands on. So, let me kick this camera up, and let me give you a little bit of a tour. Now we start off, obviously, with the door, coming in, and straight off, my biggest priority, always, is the kettle stand. There's my kettle, my brew kit. Yeah, just tucked out of view of your normal shot, so it's right by me, but you never get to see it. But probably the most important thing you want to see is, let me step back a bit. It's a little bit tricky, my studio really isn't that big, okay? So there's my wall, okay? And probably my pride of place is Dad's tool station. Willow got me that for Father's Day. Yeah, made me a little heart for it. But you've got all my tools up there. Okay, and if we come in a bit closer, in fact, let me go around to show you that bit. And then you've got my little work area and my paint racks. But if we come in a bit closer, yeah, as you can see, straight off, all my priority tools, my favourite knife, my favourite clippers, my terrain shooter hammer. Then after that, we've got all my tapes, all my abrasive tools, so files, rasps, yeah. Then my safety equipment, my tape, yeah, my my set squares, more rulers, scissors, clips, all that sort of stuff. The YouTube silver play button. And then if I pull it back out a bit, just in that corner, you can see all my swords and that sort of stuff. They're mainly there to take the swords and Nerf guns out of the house because Corbin keeps shooting Willow with them. Yeah, the big metal sword, Kerry got me that for a birthday present when I think I was 22, 23. Now, what you don't see on the shot is just above all my coffee cans. Now, my coffee cans contain all my, all my flocks, my foliages, my basing materials. I think there's probably about 30 up there, yeah? Yeah, I do like my coffee. But if we come back down, yeah, obviously, looking at the tools, there's my favourite hat, my bolster supplies, big brushes, heavy duty brushes, fine brushes, cutting tools, syringes, pasters, brushes, pens, blades, minion, pencils, and then the rest is just sort of little odds and sods. Now if we look at my cutting corner, right down at the bottom we have all my paints, yeah, my resins, fillers, stuccos, PVA. And then coming along here, I generally just keep a few handy things, baby wipes, gloves, screwdrivers, a rack of disposables like hot glues and stirrers and all that sort of stuff. And then down there, I've just got a few bits that I should be working on. Yeah, so I'll need to get a couple of videos done on those because I've made some promises. And then my Christmas present from Kerry, a fire extinguisher, shows how much she trusts me, and my map of the Chindits. But if we move across over to my paint rack, yeah, these are all my paints. So if we start at the top, that's where I keep all my containers and that sort of stuff. Then we've got my army painter paints and my house tester pots. Going down, we have all my glues, adhesives, various fillers and stuff. In those tubes there are pre-mixed paints for airbrushing. Going further down, we have all my Galleria, professional acrylics. I use those for doing washes and that sort of stuff. And then we got the water effects and some more cheaper acrylics on there. Bit of army painter on there. Bit further down, we've got, let me just show you, airbrush paints in there. All sorts of random stuff in there. And although I don't think you can get these, my Model Mates pigments in there. Next one down is my scrap shelf, which is just lots of bits. And then down below that, we've got all my spray cans. So my army painters, my Halfords primers, various clear coats and stuff like that. And that is my painting rack. And now moving on, you get to see the other side of the studio. So obviously there's my desk, but that is the studio streaming setup with the close-up camera above it and my little pink monitor using so I can see what's on the close-up camera. If I come round, you can sort of see the corner of my studio. So this is literally the other side of my desk. Yeah, you can see where I keep my foam boards and various bits of stuff. Yeah, boards, plastic plants. And then you've got my shelving. Yeah, my racking. Now that's a 2x2 shelving setup where I keep all my bits, my display cabinet, and then my battle mats, my maker, Mr. Maker drawers, and then the door again. So as you can see, my studio is actually really small. It's actually only 10 foot by 16 foot. So, that's why you understand there's a little bit of an echo. Right, let me show you some of the other stuff close up. So here are my shelves, okay, and on those, they're 2x2 shelves. I've sort of made them. And then over there, we've got various bits. There's the Stoic arms, some of the Sarissa Precision, Gale Force 9 stuff over there. Yeah, then down below, we've got my palm trees waiting to be finished. Yeah, more bits below there and all my foam. And then if we come over to this side, more foam, tools, Burma build, the demonic skull and some Stalingrad stuff. Then over there is all our acrylic caulking mats that we're slowly testing. That's my close-up camera. And that's my face camera, sorry. So that's what you see my pretty face on. Yeah, there's various boxes of all sorts of bits and stuff down there. Tripods and that sort of stuff. And then I brought my display cabinet from home. Yeah, and there's not much in here. On the bottom shelf, just behind that radiator, there's some books. Going up, yeah, a couple of tanks, some Sarissa Precision kit. Okay, and then finally, my Chindits on the top shelf. Okay, and then if we come over here, yeah, if you can just about see this, yeah, that is my Mr. Maker wall. Okay, and at the top, I've got all my, oh, shaking there. At the top, I've got all my battle mats. I've got my hot wire foam factory stuff and some cars I need to do some stuff on. And then in here, I have literally tons of bits. tons and tons of various things that I've collected over the years of doing this hobby. Yeah, and I had to get out of the house before Kez killed me. Yeah, because I was taking it over. Then finally, my over-the-shoulder camera. Yeah, so that's my 3 cameras. And essentially, that is my studio. And so that's essentially where I work from. Yeah, as I said, 10 foot by 16 foot. Genuinely isn't that much. A lot of people when they watch the videos, they naturally assume that there's a big room over there with all the cameras and the lights and everything set up. And when they actually come through the door and they suddenly realise that essentially right behind the camera is a set of shelves and some wall, they're quite shocked. They're also quite shocked by how much I can do in such a small space. But I'm quite handy like that. Okay, so that's my studio. This is where I work. I hope you found the tour a little bit interesting. Bit of an interesting video to start the year off. And right, let's wrap this up. Okay, we've got plenty more content coming to the channel. If you've got any questions, get them down below in the comments. I've forgotten how I wrap these bloody things up now. Typical Mel, innit? So guys, let's wrap this up properly. Listen, like it if you like it, share it if you would know anyone who'd like to see it. Any questions, get them in the comment. And as always, if you do like my videos and you want to support what I do here and in this little studio of mine, yeah, links down below or on the screen to Patreon and PayPal, where you can either make a regular pledge of $1 a month or you can send a one-off via PayPal. It all helps keep me in here, lights on, cameras rolling, and making video for you guys. So, in the meantime, keep your eyes out for Cruel Steve stuff coming soon, and see you soon, guys. All the best, yeah? Ta-da!